Hey VC, this is Harvey and a warm and welcome return to Spinning the Black Circle. It's been many months since my last video upload and I don't know where the time has gone really. It's been a good few months, all is well, lots of time with family, definitely lots of vinyl purchases, so plenty of content for forthcoming episodes. And what you see behind me is my main hi-fi system. But what I've also done in that intervening period is built a second hi-fi system in the study, which is now my music room. So I'll definitely do a room tour highlighting that before Christmas. Before we go any further, thank you very much to all of the subscribers. I am humbled by the fact that people continue to comment, even though I haven't posted for many months, and even more humbled by the fact that I have so many new subscribers, despite doing absolutely nothing for the past few months. So thank you very much. Thanks for sticking with me, and hopefully I can repay some of that patience. So what are we going to talk about? So the next episode I do, I can focus on some of my recent purchases, what's excited me. But I thought I'd pick up on a thread that I begun in my last upload, which is Lost Albums. So this is Lost Albums episode 2. And the context of this, or the rationale, is it's not about making a virtue of obscurity. Yeah, it's let me put it like this: if even in this knowledgeable group that we are in VC and the people who watch our videos, if 30 years ago someone had said to us as a collective, what do you think about Nick Drake's Brighter Later? How do you rate that LP? I would hazard a guess that well less than 50% of the VC community would have heard that LP, and most probably wouldn't have heard of it. And that's an example, isn't it? That because Nick Drake is everywhere now, right? I can't remember what the trigger was, but in the 90s, Nick Drake suddenly exploded into an artist that is in that supposed classic canon, and now everyone knows who he is in this community, and a good percentage of people will own Brighter Later and his other two other classic albums in that he recorded in his short lifetime. And so now that tells us that fixed canon just doesn't exist, does it? Life doesn't work like that, nor does music, and that's a good thing, because and if that was the case, then we just have a list to work through, and we would simply add new albums or new artists to that are coming through chronologically. But actually the history of music and how life works is it's not that simple, which means that it's great because we continue to discover things recorded and released by artists many years ago. So that's the rationale. So I'm gonna in Lost Albums episode 2, I'm gonna focus on an LP that I bought about 4 months ago from Pete at Psychotron Records, just down the road. And this is another point that the reason that I encourage everyone getting into this to find a good local, or more than one good local record store, whether that's new music or second-hand vinyl, is just talking to those shop owners and the people in the shop. It'll massively increase your palate and challenge your tastes. I don't think that streaming, or just searching accepted lists of artists or trusting Apple Music or Spotify's recommendations to you is going to do anywhere near as much as being part of a community of people who share music in a record store or via vinyl nights or just via friendships. And this is an example of that, because this LP, you can't stream it, and I spotted it on Pete at Psychotron's Facebook page about 4 months ago. Went and had a talk to him about it, and it's a tremendous LP, but you can't stream it. So how would I have discovered this LP if not for that record store? And the answer is I wouldn't. Having said that, this LP, you can't just walk into a record store and buy it, but I looked and there were about 10 copies of it on Discogs. Vinyl Tap recently had for about £8 a copy of it, which is now out of stock, but you can get your hands on this LP. So I'm not promoting something that you guys can't hear, and I think there might be 1 or 2 YouTube clips of some of the songs on this too, although the full LP is not online. So without further ado, this is a folk LP from 1981, released on the Galen label, and it's the debut and I think only LP by Treasa O'Driscoll. Treasa O'Driscoll, and it's called Farewell But Whenever. And the subtitle of the LP is Love Songs of Ireland from the 15th to the 20th centuries. So Treasa O'Driscoll is an Irish-born singer-songwriter, author and poet. She was born into a large Catholic family in Ireland and now, I believe, resides in Canada with her husband. Still, I understand from her biography to us, it's a mix of poetry and traditional Irish songs. Writes books. She is an author, as I said. And I also read that she has done some concerts in the UK and Europe. So if that happens again, I will definitely be tracking some tickets down to catch Treasa, because I can't believe this is her only LP, because it's just tremendous. It is a traditional Irish folk album. It's absolutely steeped and connected to that Celtic tradition, and you know that comes through. It's kind of the Dubliners, times 10. Don't be fooled by the subtitle of the LP, which is this, love songs from the 15th to the 20th century. It's not love in the sense of syrupy ballads. It's really the heart and soul of that Celtic Irish tradition. There's a mix of Irish and English speaking vocabulary in terms of the lyrics. Her voice just soars throughout, and it's steeped in that Irish tradition in terms of how she sings. And there's lots of traditional Irish music on here too. So Red Roses for Me, which is based on the Sean O'Casey play, is on here in song format. You have The Maid on the Shore, which is a traditional Irish song, on here. Roll Me From the Wall. So I'm not Irish of Irish descent, but there's a lot here that would be recognised, I think, as traditional Irish canon, although not perhaps obvious choices, because it's 15th to 20th century. There's some really old selections on here, and in the musicianship, which is, as you can imagine, mostly acoustically based. Lots of violin and string instruments complementing her voice, and it's just expertly produced. It's like walking into a concert hall with a quartet of an Irish band set up with a tremendous singer, overlaying the music. That's what it sounds like. It was clearly really carefully recorded, and that comes through in spades. In the song selections, the delivery, it's not all slow based. There's some pace to some of these tunes too. It's not all downbeat, despite the title. Encourage you definitely to, maybe if you can, check out the one or two tunes that are on YouTube from this LP, and then track it down via Discogs if you like what you hear. But in terms of the small amount of albums that I have that are in this genre, Dubliners, some of the things that Van Morrison delved into a little bit, particularly that album he did with the Chieftains, and I suppose in their own style, with that punk ethos, the Pugs. So I can't claim to be an expert in this genre, but this album is about integrity and something that's genuine. So it's an odd analogy, but it's a bit like, getting something that's a core hip hop LP to understand hip hop, like Straight Outta Compton or Run DMC's Raising Hell. You are getting the genuine article with this LP by Treasa O'Driscoll. Without slagging off the cause, because I think some of their stuff was commendable. This is the other end of the spectrum in terms of what this is doing with Irish tradition compared to, even the best cause output. So heartily recommended. as Lost Albums number 2. You can track this down on Discogs. I got it in, it's definitely in VG, the mint condition from Pete at Segatron Records. I cleaned it up on my Project VCS cleaning machine, bagged it as you can see, and it plays perfectly. That's necessary because there isn't too much percussion on here, and there is some a cappella too on some of the traditional Irish songs, so it needs a quiet playing surface to do it. But you can easily get, I think, if you look, especially via Discogs, a clean VG Plus copy of this. So if you like it, buy it, and I promise you that it's something that's hard to get off the turntable because it's a tremendous LP. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Hopefully the next upload this weekend or early next week, get into some of those recent finds. I've bought, as many of you will have, I've bought Ghosteen by Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds on vinyl. Let's cover that. I'll tell you what I think of that. And there's lots of other purchases I've made, both old and new, over the last few months. So without further ado, VC, thank you very much for listening, and see you later.